Hi folks, and welcome to the Wannabe Gardener. Right, well today I'm going to be trying to, start to tackle this big monstrosity here of a plant bush thing, whatever the hell it's meant to be. I have no idea, but it's absolutely, it's horrible. Sorry, there will be some camera movement because I am on slightly rocky ground. But yeah, that's the plan. The plan is to start to tackle that, to get rid of it. The idea of the channel is basically, I'm not an experienced gardener in the slightest. In fact, I'm a novice, complete novice at gardening. This is my patch here. It's thin, it's long. I'll give you a look at it. And it's got loads of junk in it, and dirt and bits of old whatever. I don't even know, there's containers down there, and then it goes up along here, and there's rubbish bags, and it goes all the way up here to old covered bike. So there's lots of, there's quite a bit of space actually. It runs quite a long way. But what I'm going to do is, first job, I'm going to try and tackle this, because my hope is that what I'm going to do eventually is I'm going to build a wildlife pond here. And I think wildlife ponds are very important because, as I say, sorry about the camera movement, but wildlife ponds are very important because, you know, a lot of those habitats are disappearing these days. Anyway, you won't see much of me. You'll mainly see my arms and me hacking away helplessly at plants. And see where I go. Okay, I'll give it a start. So I've got my, I don't even know what it's called. You know what it's called, tell me. Pruning fork thing. I want to try and maybe get to the base of this. And because obviously the more I can cut. But as I say, suggestions from you experienced gardeners are more than welcome. Tell me all the things I'm doing wrong, because I'm sure I'm doing a lot wrong. But the thing is, people may say, oh, you're killing that plant. I don't want to. It's horrible. In my opinion, anyway. It's an absolutely horrible plant. So. And it's literally just grown completely out of control for, obviously, for years and years and years. There, I've just cut a big lump out of it, but that won't come away yet. But I'll continue on. I may speed up this section as we go. It's not easy. It looks easier than it is. It's an absolute disaster, this thing. I think this must be growing for about 20, 30 years. Without any sort of pruning at all. But you know what? I'm starting to make a tiny bit of headway. I tell you what, in these very troubling times, because this is when the coronavirus is going about, and it is the social distancing measures and all that sort of stuff is going on at the moment. I am very much adhering to all of that. Work, everything else stopped, so I've decided to tackle the garden to keep myself occupied. I'm nowhere near anybody else. It's completely and utterly quiet here. There's not one person around, so I'm probably about 20 meters away from any other human being. So that said, I hope everybody else is keeping safe and doing likewise. Anyway, enough about that, and this is my exercise for the day. This is what I'm going to use as my exercise for the day. It's tackling the garden. Oops. And throwing stuff at the camera. It actually feels, I tell you what, it feels really good. And yes, before anybody asks or says you should be wearing gloves, yes, you're right, 100% I should be wearing gloves. The reason why I'm not is I bought some gloves and I don't know where to put them, and I don't want to unnecessarily go to the shop because it's not an absolute essential. To buy gloves, you know, with the virus going about. So I'll have a look at them tomorrow when I come back out into the garden and do another session. I'm getting getting there. That's not bad. This is not bad. There we go. Big giant piece. Let me see if that's just still taping. It doesn't look like it, but I'm going to put the fork in the way now to make sure it is taping. Yes, it is. So, as you can see, I'm getting into the bowels of this monstrosity. And my nipper is working. I had a bigger one, but a pruning thing. I can't remember what loppers is what we call them. I used to do some conservation work, and we had like loppers, and I have a much bigger one. But again, for some bizarre reason, everything seems to have gone missing. But it doesn't matter, because you know what? I'm loving it. I'm loving doing this. I can't wait to get obviously online, to get all the pond equipment. But I'll tell you what, the big loppers would seriously help at the moment, because some of the branches are pretty big. What I might do is I might pause in a bit and come back. I don't like doing the speed up stuff, because as you're going to get to know very quickly, I do talk. Let's keep my people involved. If you're doing any gardening projects, let me know what you're doing at the moment. Let me know how it's going. I'd love to hear. You know, this is just my start into, as I said, my start into gardening. So, you know, any advice, any chat about it, will be all very, very welcome. But yeah, I'm surprised. When I first started doing this, just a few minutes ago, obviously, I thought, oh dear, you know, I'm not going to get any sort of progress at all. But I'm actually making some decent progress. And as they say in gardening circles, cool. And yes, I wish I had gloves, because I'm starting to rip my hands to pieces. But hey ho, tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. So, right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause now for a few seconds. Well, not for a few seconds, I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to hack this down, and I'm going to come back to you in a little bit. I'm turning it back on again because I'm just pulling out a big giant chunk, so I just want you to see. Well, trying. Ta-da! I'm happy. So, there we go. Anyway, here's the reason why you should wear gloves. Because you get ripped to pieces. And okay, they're not life-threatening cuts or anything, but you know, I mean, it's obviously better when you do wear gloves. But that's for tomorrow. There's a little ladybird in here. This is going to actually take a while. Actually, in my madness, I thought, oh yeah, I'll be able to just take this down. This will be like, you know, stage one. I'll do this in like, I don't know, a half an hour or something. It's not going to take a half an hour, trust me, folks. It's going to take probably 2 or 3 days, actually. Maybe, I don't know. If I have gloves, I can obviously get my hands in a lot further and just wash it to bits. But, oh, it's getting there, yeah. Okay, it looks 10 times worse than it did when I started, but to be honest with you, it just looked terrible all the way, right from the start. I don't actually know whether I should put me in the shot, simply because it's better talking to my face rather than my torso. So I don't know whether you can actually see me already. Who knows? Maybe you can. I've got no idea. Yeah, maybe you can. I assume so. Can you? Hello, if you can. So yeah, it's actually I mean, you know, I know this is bandied about quite a lot, but they say gardening is very therapeutic, but it really is. It really is. I mean, despite it being, you know, it can be physical work and stuff like this, it's actually, it does, it just makes you feel really, really good, really, I don't know, really positive, really sort of, you know, alive. And it's, yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. Also, like, I did a little bit of reading, and it turned around, and I remember I was digging a pond where I used to live, so I have actually made a pond before. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I've learned lessons from that, but I remember like digging at the soil and having the soil in my hand and the feel of the soil in my hands, and actually, you know, it gave a real sort of buzz, a real feeling of connection, you know, with nature, with the garden, with, you know, the air, I don't know, everything. And it turns out that scientifically speaking, there are microorganisms in the soil, which everybody, certainly gardeners, are going to be more than familiar with. Not visually, but you know, they're going to be well aware that they're in there. They break down the nutrients in the soil, etc. But actually, scientifically speaking, these microorganisms, I don't know how, but they're supposed to actually help to make you feel good. How it works, I don't know, but that's what I read. It was a scientific paper, so hey ho. So it seems so far all good. Obviously, if you're using stuff like loppers or whatever people call them, pruning forks, etc., you know, obvious health and safety, you know, I don't want to bang on about it, but you just need to be obviously just generally careful, watch what you're doing. Am I completely knackered yet? Not really. I just want to get it done. I'm just anxious to get it done. I like seeing results. But I guess patience is the best method for it. But this is clearly not been touched in years. I mean, this garden, you know, I'm relatively sort of new to this garden, this place, so it's all new to me. But I've decided, I look out on it and I'm like, I don't want it looking like this anymore. You know, even if I clear everything and just put a bit of grass there, it's going to be better than it looks. There's some lovely plants, but they're kind of all over the place. What the plan is to do long term is to build a pond. You know, clear this, obviously clear all the junk out of the way. Build a pond. There's lovely roses here. So advice on rose pruning and, you know, moving them. Because what I want to do is I want to have a kind of separate little rose garden. I want to have a herb garden. I want to have a veg patch, wildlife section, and then maybe down the end here, composting and like a wormery, things like that. So that's the plan. Okay, there's a lot to do, but you know, that's the long-term plan. To have it looking like that. You know, things might change, but I don't know. That's kind of, those are my gardening goals, and to learn as I go. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually tackle it from the other side now. I know there's like rubbish bags and all sorts there. So what I might do is pause the camera, move it, and tackle it from that side, and see how we go. Oops, so here I am on the other side of the plant. Well, here is the other side of this monstrosity. I'll just show you a little bit around. There's the bags of rubbish. I'm going to take them out. Now I'm going to try and tackle from this side. I might try and get to the base of the plant. Sorry for the movement. I might try and get to the base of the plant, see if I can get out all in one go. That might be a bit helpful, but we'll see. It's getting a bit windy now, so the camera's going to probably move about a bit. So let me get rid of the rubbish first. I'll at least move it for now. Got bags of rubbish, bags of bags. There you go. Next two. That's it, I think. Easy enough to dispose of. except now I've lost the locker, haven't I? No, there it is. Right. Maybe if I tackle from up this side, and you see this, look at this other tree here. I don't really, well, you can obviously see that. Let me see. This one just to this side here. Don't know what that is. Should I prune it? Who knows? Let me know. So anyway, I'm going to tackle this a little bit from here. One tiny bit. But that's the way it was at the other side, first time. So. Try and get into the old mechanics here. That's the centre. Good. Right. This is just grown unchecked for like just, as I said, years and years and years. You can't even see that. There's been no. Yeah. But the inside is just all dead wood, so to speak. Got going, folks. Got going. Well, I'm determined to get here because I do want to make this garden look nice. You know, it's never going to be capability brown or anything. But then again, to be honest with you, I'm not really that keen on capability brown gardens. They're too what's the word? They're too kept. They're too. There's another word for it. I'm thinking of it now. Yeah. But you know what I mean. Everything is I can't think of that word. It's really annoying. Can't think of it. I'll think of it in a bit. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Everything looks so neat, tidy and ordered and proper. And I want my garden to be, you know, some sections to be nice, like, but I want it to look beautiful, but practical, as in sort of like for making food and like vegetables, growing vegetables and fruits, etc. And also wildlife. Very, very important for me to make it a kind of like a very wildlife friendly garden. As I say, this, you know, bee is struggling. So, and I know, and one thing I have grown before in pots, of course, garden, herbs. They look really nice. They smell beautiful. They taste great. You know, why not have a herb garden? So I'm definitely going to have one of them. And from previous tiny bit of knowledge from growing it, I did move some. It sounds like I'm on porcupine. I did move some like in pots, put sage out in the garden and stuff like that. Like previously when I had when I lived elsewhere, and the bees were all over it. They absolutely loved it. So anyway, as you can see, I'm doing the same stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it and then get back to you just before I finish. Right, I've seen a bit of an action plan now. This section out here, where should I point? This section here, I'm going to try to take this off before I finish today. Yeah, and just so I can see some progress. Instead of attacking it, I'm learning as I go. Instead of attacking it from left, right and centre, just try and take, as I said, this section here, thin this section out, and then I think I'll see some actual progress and it will make me feel really cool. So I'll hack away and I'll get back to you in a little bit and we'll see how we get on. Have to turn this bit on, just pulling out a big chunk of sorry about the camera movement. There we go, just pulling out a big chunk so it feels like, I don't know, success. Can you see it? Ta-da! Sorry, to me it's all really novel and fun and enjoyable. Now what I've done is I've lost the lockers. I think I've put it in, as you can see, this is clearly somebody who is not an experienced gardener. They obviously know where to put their tools. Somewhere, even my cat is saying I'm not very good. He'd probably do a better job than I would at the moment. Anyway, what I've done is I think I've buried the loppers underneath all the bits of plant. So let me go find them. I found it was on the ground. There we go. Anyway, so what I'll do is I'll continue demolishing this section here, and yeah, and see how I get on. Well, there we go. I don't know if you can see that properly, but for me it's mission accomplished, because I'm now kind of in my delusional state. I thought that I could take it all down today. It's actually a lot tougher work than I realised. Obviously, being the wannabe gardener, not surprising I got that wrong. But yeah, I'm kind of halfway through, maybe 1/3 through, probably more likely. There's the rest of it. I moved some of the debris down the back there to be composted in the future at some stage, because I got to sort out the junk down there. I found lots of plant pots, some very usable ones, some nice metallic ones. Some of them are rusted away, some are not. So they're actually very nice. These are all very usable. Some crushed ones, and lots of other ones as well. I think that one was out already. That's been weathered. That's no good. So yeah, there's a bit of usable material, which shows that there most likely was a gardener that used to live here. Anyhow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push all that mess down to the back, all the debris, all the stuff I've chopped off, and I'll be back for sum ups today and how I feel that it's gone. Okay, be back with you soon. Well, so there we go. I've finished up for the day. I think I've got a good way through. I'll have to look back in the video and imagine how big it was, but I think it was like, well, it certainly was out to here, because this is in shade here. So actually, yeah, I'm very pleased, I've got to say, for a first go. So what have I learned as a wannabe gardener from my first real sort of gardening experience? Well, when you put your tools down, when you're in the middle of something, especially when you're clearing a plant that you don't want, put them in a place where you know where they're going to be when you look again. That's very important. Wear gloves, because I wouldn't say my hands are cut to bits, but they're certainly cut in a number of places. But mind you, the kind of tactile feel of things and the experience, it's very, well, it is very tactile. You know what I mean? It actually feels good on the hands. So maybe not. You know. I'm very pleased that I bought a rake when I was last able to go out, when the world was normal. So this has come in handy, obviously, to clear up some of that debris. The debris, and there's loads of it down the back, actually, while it's waiting to kind of compost, while it's composting down, it will actually make a good haven for wildlife, and a good little hive for wildlife. And it's hit all that junk for now anyway, so I'm very happy with that. Anything else? Yes. Things take a lot longer than you imagine at the start. They really do. But yeah, so far so good, and I'm really looking forward to getting back out and doing it again. And it's a wonderful feel-good experience. It really is. It's amazing. You know, it's hard graft, but it really is. It's an amazing experience, and I'm delighted. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's the first time I've done one on gardening, so it's a little bit higgledy-piggledy probably. But you know, I'll learn as I go along with your help and your advice, I'm sure, and support for that matter. So if you enjoyed what you saw, you know, I invite you to subscribe, or just enjoy the videos for the meantime as I go along. Lots more to do, a huge project. This is just a very tip of the iceberg. So in the meantime, it's goodbye from the Wannabe Gardener, and I'll see you for the next video. I'm going to just hop around now and turn it off. So bye bye everybody.